Hello, welcome to Morning Coffee with Maddog Merv, and today it's a beautiful late September day. Uh, well, we're close enough to October, I can say it's a beautiful October day because that's what it feels like out here. Let's see what's going on in the channel, shall we? Welcome to Morning Coffee.
Maddog Merv today.
Got our French roast this morning
Bagel.
again. I wonder I'm a big fat guy. I mean,
And then
holy
they
cow.
I always had a schmear. A schmear.
He's probably going for bagels. He's trying to steal
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it.
I have no clue.
And I got a bunch of chores to do. Oh, who wants to do that?
So, for today's shout out, All American Travels. This is a channel that I stumbled across. Fortunately, I didn't fall and get hurt, but I did stumble across it. And this channel, what got me interested, he does some traveling, of course, but he's making a conversion of a of a RMS Titanic into the Britannic, and he's going step by step on all the little details you've got to change to make a Britannic. He's got it painted up with the white sides and the red cross on it. Man, caught my attention. He's apparently also doing an Olympic, but this is amazing. And it's not in a big scale. It's in the, smaller, I can't remember what size it is, but the smaller Revell kit, and it looks really good. So check out his channel, All American Travels. Well, the model show last week was a lot of fun, but there were a couple of things that weren't quite as fun for me. One, I spilled my coffee in the parking lot. That wasn't fun. And unfortunately, a week or so before, I had loaded up my truck to get things out of the doghouse so that I had it all ready to go and priced and whatnot for my vending. Unfortunately, somebody broke into the Blazer. We do have a lot of how can I put it, vagrants around this area, and I don't know if it was obviously it wasn't any of the people in the neighborhood. It was somebody walking through and saw boxes in the back of the truck and figured it was a good idea to break in and see what they could get so they could sell it for meth or whatever. Unfortunately, they took one of my boxes. You'd think they would have left boxes of models. It's not like they can really sell them for anything, but the box they took was the automobile stuff that I was going to sell. Like, there was a Firestone truck, there was a my Hearst Olds was in there, several other things that were pretty neat kits that I was going to sell that got stolen. So I had all the armor kits and a few aircraft kits that I was selling, and I also had some HO scale buildings that I was selling. And I did have a lot of fun at that, being a vendor at the show. And I've done that for, I've gone to this show for probably 30 years. I've done some breakout sessions at one of the shows on panel line enhancing. Years ago, I've been a judge a few times, and I've been a vendor. Probably for the last decade, I've been a vendor there. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a family reunion. There's so many guys from all over the region here, not just Salt Lake and Utah, but all over the region that come. And it's good to see them. So it's just like a family reunion every 2 years. And you get to see how the guys are doing, talk to them a little bit. It is funny as they get older and they start to tell you some of their ailments and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, buddy, I can feel your pain. I know what that's like. But it's wonderful to see them. I did have a great opportunity towards the end. You're looking at what you still got left, and you're looking at these people that are walking around with their kids. And I had a great opportunity to give some things away to some younger modelers that will hopefully help them get a spark in the hobby. So we'll see how that goes, but to me that's always fun. Giving a little bit back to the younger kids to try and get them interested. Overall, unfortunately, I was able to cover my cost, and I was able to cover part of the cost of the stuff I bought. Because of course, I'm at a model show. There's 30 vendors. It's like a candy store for me. So I had a great time. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I picked up here in just a few minutes. Coming up on the main show tomorrow, honestly, I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do, because here we are real close, and I've got a couple of different things I'm working on. So stay tuned tomorrow, that's all I can say, and we'll see what we wind up with for a main show. There'll be something, I just don't know what yet. Sorry, guys. On the stash this week, we had looked at the Invisible Man kit from Mobius, and this is where I ran into a bit of a dilemma. So on the show table, there were several of the monster kits that looked really, really neat. One of the vendors had several of the monster kits. Several. He had two different types of the mummy, which I really wanted. He had the Phantom of the Opera, which I really wanted because it has the organ in the back, and he's standing up. Really neat. He had the Invisible Man. He had the Bride of Frankenstein, which I had to have. That was one that was on the table, and looking at how that was built, I gotta have one. And he had a few others. Had the Munsters, which would have been fun. I mean, they all would be neat to collect, but I just didn't have that kind of money. Fortunately, I was able to make a deal on a few of the items, and so I got the Bride, and I got, as you saw, the Invisible Man. I did pick up another Missouri from Tamiya. Got a real good deal on that. It is not a great kit, as we've talked about when I reviewed it last year, but still. And decided to pick it up because I'm going to turn it into a USS Iowa, as it carried President Roosevelt over to the Tehran conference. So I'll put the elevators on it, things like that. It'll have the open bridge, which I'm looking forward to doing the modifications for that. So I picked those up. Picked up a couple of more Sherman kits. I know you can never have too many Shermans. They're like Mustangs. Anyway, so we do have some other things to review on the channel in the near future. So yes, we will have a kit hoarder stash this week. I picked up some figures too, some Dragon figures, U.S. military, World War II in Europe. There's some Rangers, there's some Airborne, and there's some British Airborne as well. So I'm looking forward to reviewing those and actually building them. They look really, really good. Well, this week I had a couple of really cool things for me happen. One, my cousin, who was a captain in the U.S. Navy, and I think I've mentioned him before because we kind of joked that he was the last captain of the USS Enterprise. He's the one that got to be at the helm as it went down the river to the scrapper. Yeah. Anyway, love my cousin. Great guy. Lives back in Virginia, and once a year he comes on a tour to visit his brothers and me, which is wonderful. Makes me very happy. Makes me feel like a brother. But he comes around once a year, and the three of us cousins get together here, and it's a wonderful reunion. We only get to spend an hour or so, and it's just not enough, but we always talk about how we're all doing and what's the latest and greatest in our families, and we always talk about some family history, which was a lot of fun, and I always get good insights into that. His dad was the gentleman I've talked about before that was the backseater in the Kingfisher that shot down a Japanese Zero off of Iwo Jima. So kind of a cool piece of history. The other fun thing that happened this week, that evening, or I think it was the next day, I talked to my sister who lives out of state, and usually when we get together and talk, it's 2 or 3 hours long. Yeah, we talk a couple of times a month, and that's how it's always been. We never get enough time together. You'd think of siblings growing up in the house. Well, she was quite a bit older, but not quite a bit, but a few years older, and we just didn't, talk and relate to the same things. Because I was a little kid, she was a teenager, then she went off to college, but I absolutely love talking with my sister. And she had some great insights on things that had to do with the channel, things that had to do with life in general. She's just an amazing part of my life. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for her. But one of the things that we were talking about led me to think there's some changes that I need to make here, or that I really want to make here on the channel. So let me go through that real quick. I'm going to try and do a couple of things here. We'll see how things go. I would like to do a few more live pieces, and for the most part, I've always kind of looked at live pieces as you set them up way in advance. You let everybody know, hey, a week from now, this day, this time, big event, we're going to be live. And I've got some friends that have done that with great success. But there's other people out there who just kind of spontaneously go live and, do whatever that they're thinking at the time. And I thought, well, so here's what I'm planning to do. Every once in a while, as I do some of the techniques and whatnot, as I'm working on projects, I would like to do a live. So you guys will just see it pop up. Hey, Maddog Merv was live. And no, you didn't miss some big announcement or anything. I just spontaneously did a live broadcast. And I want those to be more around the techniques that I'm using as I'm doing different projects around here. For example, maybe I'm using a new paint, or maybe I'm trying a different dry brush technique, or whatever. So kind of watch for those. I'm not sure how often I'll do them. I don't know that there will be an actual schedule. They'll just they'll pop. Well, anyway, guys, been working on the Warlock, painting it a custom color, of course. Doing some things that you're not going to see anywhere else. So when we roll the Warlock out in 25th scale, I think you guys are going to like it. At least I hope you do. It's going to be fun. Here in a couple weeks, we're going to look at some more of the stuff that I'm doing with the Halloween display, because I got to have it done by the 1st of October, and then we'll kind of maybe do a little show on the little spook alley that we're putting together for that. So, stay tuned for that stuff as well. I am trying to get some 25th scale figures painted, as I have for the last month and a half. And there's just not enough time. So, well, thanks for joining us today, folks. I really appreciate it. I know that you guys can spend your time all over on all sorts of really cool stuff on YouTube. You know what? Thanks for joining Maddog Merv. I really do appreciate it. Have the rest of a good weekend. We'll see you tomorrow for the mystery show. Gypsy. Oh, Gypsy girl. Oh, yeah, it's always my Gypsy girl. Oh, yes.